Hello friends, hope you have seen my last video lecture on cell wall and cell membrane and you understood these two parts, that is cell wall and cell membrane. Now let us learn further parts of the bacterial cell under the topic bacterial cell organization. Now next part, today we are going to study these are capsule, slime layer, flagella and villi. Now let us study first part of the cell, that is capsule and slime layer. Notice the structure and function of capsule, what is slime layer, which are the differences between capsule and slime layer, and which are the functions of capsule. Now capsules are also called as glycocalyx. These are present outside the cell wall. Here these are viscous mucilaginous layer present on the cell surface. Here these are discrete layer present outside the cells. So capsules can be defined as these are viscous mucilaginous discrete layer present outside the cell surface, or they are also called as glycocalyx. They perform many different functions important for the cell. Now these capsules are not present in all bacterial cells. They are present only in some bacterial strains, and these cells are called as capsulated organism. As an example, Pseudomonas is there, your Bacillus is there which have capsule, Klebsiella species are present which are capsulated. So capsules are present only in case of bacteria. These bacteria are called as capsulated bacteria. Now this capsule, along with the capsule there is another layer. Another less discrete structure is present outside the cell surface, that is called a slime layer. Now these capsules are divided into different types depending upon their size as well as depending upon their shape. Depending upon the size, they are divided as a microcapsule and macrocapsule. Notice microcapsule, name itself indicate micro means their size is less than 0.2 micron. Those capsule having diameter less than 0.2 micron, these capsules are called as microcapsule. Okay, now this microcapsule we can observe them under the electron microscope. We cannot observe them under the compound microscope. Now second type is macrocapsule. Students, when you see this capsule under the compound microscope, we are generally observing this macrocapsule because macrocapsules are quite larger in size in their diameter as compared to the microcapsule. The capsules having diameter greater than 0.2 micron are called as macrocapsule, and they can be easily visualized under the compound microscope. Now there is another basis for the classification of capsule, and that is a shape of capsule. Here when you observe capsule under the electron microscope, capsules are found to be having different shapes. First is a continuous capsules. The capsules having uniform thickness throughout its distance or throughout the capsule, they have uniform diameter. They are called as continuous capsule. As like second type is discontinuous capsule. Discontinuous capsule have uneven diameter throughout its length. Third one is banded fibrillar capsule. It looks like a fibrillar model. That's why it is called as banded fibrillar model or banded fibrillar capsule. Next is localized patches type of the capsule. These are observed as a patches like capsule. So it is named as a localized patches type of the capsule. So this is in short about the types of capsule depending upon their shape as well as size of the capsule. Now these capsules are non-ionic in the nature, or they are neutral. They do not carry any either positive or negative charge, or they are not acidic or basic, and that's why it is difficult to stain this capsule. But for the demonstration of capsule, one can use the principles of the negative staining. By using principle of negative staining, we can observe the capsule. Here capsules can be demonstrated with the help of manual staining method. By manual staining method, capsules can be visible, colorless capsules can be visible against the blue background and pink vegetative cell. So manual staining method is a special staining method which uses principle of negative staining. What is the principle of negative staining? Negative staining generally do not stain the part under study. As we are interested to see capsules remain colorless by manual method, and remaining part of the slide, that is background and inner vegetative cell got color. So that is the principle of negative staining, and by this manual staining we can easily demonstrate the capsule. Now let us study the chemical composition of the capsule. Capsules are chemically very simple, as they consist of only two components. One is major component is about 98% and that is water. So water is about 98% and remaining 2% part is made up of exopolysaccharide and exopolypeptide. In some bacteria their capsules have polysaccharides and in some bacteria their capsules contain polypeptides. Either polysaccharides are present or polypeptides are present. And as I told, capsule is a part outside the cell wall. Yes, because of that these polysaccharides and polypeptides are called as exopolypeptides and exopolysaccharides. So that is a simple composition of the capsule. Because of this polysaccharide, polypeptides and water, capsules are said to be non-ionic. It do not carry more positive or more acidic charge. It is not acidic or basic. Now here I give some examples of the bacteria with their capsules, capsular polysaccharides and polypeptides. Now first of all we will see the bacterial cells having exopolysaccharide in their capsule. Especially as you know, polysaccharides are of two types. One is homopolysaccharide and another is heteropolysaccharide. Homo means the polysaccharide which consists of single sugar unit. That is a good example is our starch. Starch consists of glucose, so it is homopolysaccharide. Like that there is heteropolysaccharide. Hetero means the polysaccharide which is made up of more than one sugar units, different sugar units. So these are some examples of bacteria. For example, Streptococcus mutans. Its capsule consists of dextran type of homopolysaccharide. That homopolysaccharide consists of sugar as a subunit, glucose as a subunit. Acetobacter xylinum consists of cellulosic capsular polysaccharide. Agrobacterium tumefaciens, it consists of glucan type of polysaccharide made up of glucose. Xanthomonas consists of levain type of polysaccharide. So these are some examples where homopolysaccharides are present in their capsules. Another is heteropolysaccharide. By capsules having heteropolysaccharide, and one of the best example is Streptococcus pneumoniae. This pneumococcal polysaccharide consists of glucose, rhamnose, glucuronic acid. These different subunits form the polysaccharide, and that's why these polysaccharides are heteropolysaccharide. An example is Streptococcus mutans. Another example is Escherichia coli. In the Escherichia coli, chalonic acid is there. It is made up of glucose, galactose, fructose, glucuronic acid. Now along with this, Streptococcus pyogenes consist of hyaluronic acid as their capsular polysaccharide. It consists of N-acetyl glucosamine and glucuronic acid as the subunits. So these are three bacteria having heteropolysaccharide in their capsule, that is Streptococcus pneumoniae, Escherichia coli, Streptococcus pyogenes. Along with this polysaccharide, some bacteria have polypeptides in their capsule, and one of the best example is our Bacillus anthracis. Here its capsule is made up of glutamic acid. It is polyglutamic acid capsule. Number of glutamic acids, amino acids are present. That's why it is polypeptide type of the capsule. So such variety is observed in case of the polysaccharides, capsular polysaccharides, depending upon the type of organism. So that is about the simple chemical composition of capsule. Now let us see which are the functions performed by this capsule. Now as I told, capsules are slimy mucilaginous viscous covering. Because of that, because of the presence of capsules, cells become a slimy or mucilaginous or slippery, and because at the same time it consists of large amount of water in its composition. So because of these two factors, capsule perform different functions. Now let us see which are the functions performed by the capsule. Now the main function of the capsule, offered by the capsule is protection. Now what type of protection capsule provides? Number of different types of the protection capsule provides to the cell. First is the capsule provide protection against the desiccation. Desiccation means drying. Okay. Now what is this function? How it protect against the desiccation? Now as I told, capsule consists of 98% of water. So when there is dry condition in the environment, bacteria can use water content from the capsule, and that is how what cell can survive in dry conditions. So that is called as the protection against the desiccation. Now next function is protection against the phagocytosis. Now all of you know what is phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is phenomenon operated in the blood. It is the engulfment of any foreign material enter in the blood by WBC. Now what happens when capsulated organism enters in our blood by compassing the first two lines of the defense mechanism, then this WBC phagocytize this bacteria. But what happens if capsules are present? Bacteria becomes slippery. As I told, capsule is slippery. It gives smooth nature or slimy nature to the cell, and these slippery bacteria cannot be phagocytized, cannot be engulfed by the WBC, and that is how these capsulated organisms can easily escape the process of phagocytosis, and they can easily disseminate in your body and cause the disease. So that is the protection against the phagocytosis. In this function especially has importance in the pathogenesis or in case of the pathogenic organism. Now next is against bacteriophage attack. It gives protection against bacteriophage attack. Now what is this? As you know, capsules are present around the bacterial cell wall. It is a layer outside the bacterial cell surface, and because of that, the sites present on cell wall, sites for attachment of bacteriophage on the cell wall get blocked. Because of the external capsular layer, these sites get blocked, and that is how it protects the cell against the bacteriophage attack. Now next is cells are also get protection against the starvation condition. Now what is this starvation? Starvation is the drought condition where nutrient deficiency there in the environment. It generally happens in which stage of the growth? It happens in the stationary phase. Yes. So in the stage, when cells are in the stationary phase, cell has to face the drought condition or starvation condition. In that case, less amount of nutrients are there in the environment. In such starvation condition, capsular polysaccharide and polypeptides can be used as a cell as a energy source. So that is how it protects the cell in such starvation condition. Capsule protect the cell against the starvation condition by supplying its polysaccharides as a energy. Next function of the capsule is it promote the attachment on the substratum because of the sticky nature. It gives a sort of attachment, or it gives sort of adhesion property to the cell on the solid substratum, and last is the it acts as a source of polysaccharide for some artificial reasons. So that is about the functions of the capsule. Now let us see which are the differences between capsule and slime layer. Now these are few differentiating points between the capsule and slime layer. As I told, capsule is a part of cell. Slime layers are the environmental secretion. It is not a part of cell. Second is capsule is genetically derived. There is capsular gene which governs the synthesis of capsule. Here in case of slime layer, they are not genetically derived. There is no any gene for the expression of slime layer. Capsule is having uniform thickness and it has definite boundary. Especially it has definite boundary. Because of that we can observe capsule under the microscope. But these slime layers have thickness decreases as we go away from the cell, and its boundary are diffuses in the medium. So generally slime layers we cannot easily visualize. They become more and more thin as we go away from the cell. Here capsules consist of polysaccharide and polypeptide. Here slime layers do not have any chemical constituent other than water. It is chemically made up of only water. And next and last differentiating point between the capsule and slime layer is capsules are immunologically significant. Capsules are immunologically significant and slime layers have no immunological significance. Now what is immunological significance? As I told, it is antiphagocytic. It protects the pathogen from WBCs. WBC is our defense barrier. So this bacteria can easily spread in the host body and cause the disease. So when capsule is present, in that case bacteria are said to be pathogenic or virulent. It can easily cause the disease, and that's it is immunologically significant. So these are the few differences between capsule and slime layer. Now let us see second part of the prokaryotic cell or bacterial cell, and that is flagella and villi. Notice the structure of flagella. which are the functions performed by flagella. Now flagella is a locomotory organ. It is a long, slender, thin, helical appendages originated at the cell membrane and passes through the cell wall. It is specially meant for the motility or locomotion. It is responsible for the swimming motility to the bacteria. Now they are very thin and delicate. Their diameter ranges in 0.01 to 0.02 micrometer in the diameter. They are very delicate, so can be easily broken from the cell just by shaking the suspension. Their length is about 1 to 5 micrometer or more. They are many times larger than that of the length of bacterial cell. It may be exceeds up to the 200 micron. That much is the long flagella, long slender structure. That is the characteristic of the flagella. Now these flagella have different types. Depending upon the number of flagellae and their number, singularly this flagella is called as flagellum, and when it is plural it is called as flagella. Here these flagella are divided into different types depending upon the number and their arrangement on the cell surface. Now let us see which are the types of flagella. Okay. Now first is monotrichous flagella. Monotrichous, mono means single, tricus means flagella. Here when single flagella are present at one pole or one end of the bacterial cell, it is called as monotrichous flagella, and the best example is our Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Another example is Vibrio cholerae. Now next is Lophotrichous flagella. Here when a bunch of flagellae, more than one, or tuft of flagella are present at one end of bacterial cell, it is called as Lophotrichous flagella, and here the example is Pseudomonas fluorescens. Now next is Amphitrichous flagella. In case of Amphitrichous flagella, a bunch of flagella are present at both polar ends carries a bunch of flagella, that is called as Amphitrichous flagella, and one of the best example is Aquaspirillum serpens. Now next and last type of the bacterial flagella is Peritrichous flagella. Here peri means surrounding. Number of flagella are present surrounding the bacterial cell, and one of the best example is our Salmonella typhi, E. coli, Proteus vulgaris. These have peritrichous flagella. Now let us see the structure of flagella. Here the structure of flagella. Here I show the three-dimensional view of the flagella having different parts of flagella. Here this figure shows filament, hook is there, and system of rings are there. That structure is called as basal ring. So this is structure of flagella. Let us see in detail about the structure of bacterial flagella. Here this is the figure showing flagellar structure. Now flagella was performing the function of motility, and that's why the structure is a special. 3 subunits are there in case of flagella. Bacterial flagella mainly consist of 3 subunits. One is this system of ring. That structure is called as basal body. This portion is called as basal body. That is the first and major part of bacterial cell. Second one is this curved portion. It is called as hook. And last is this helical portion. Last one is the helical portion called as filament. Now let us see what is this basal body. Now this basal body consists of a central rod inserted into system of 4 rings. These rings are L, P, S and M rings. Here I have to focus that we have to remember that these 4 rings L, P, S and M rings are present only in case of gram negative bacterial cell. They are absent in gram positive. Now why this is so? Now all of you know that gram positive cells are more rigid as compared to the gram negative cell. Gram negative cell walls are less rigid. So in case of gram positive cell, L and P rings are absent. Because of rigid cell wall, there is no need of the support, or these are the bearings, they give support. So this L and P rings are absent in gram positive, and that of in gram negative bacteria, what happens? Cell wall is less rigid. It requires, this rod requires some support. A sort of support is required, and that support was provided by this L and P rings. So in case of gram positive, L, P, S, M rings In case of gram negative bacteria, LP, all 4 rings are present in case of gram negative bacteria, and in case of gram positive, only S and M rings are present. And obviously, we can conclude that as these S and M rings are present in both gram positive as well as gram negative, the function of motility was performed by S and M rings. So these are the rotors of the flagella. Now what this L, P, S and M stands for? L stands for lipopolysaccharide. Where this word came? Lipopolysaccharide. Lipopolysaccharide is this L ring is present in the lipopolysaccharide layer of gram negative, outer layer of gram negative cell. P ring is present in peptidoglycan, present in the inner layer of gram negative cell. As you know, gram negative cell is bilayered. Outer and inner layers are present. In outer layered lipopolysaccharide, L ring is present. In inner peptidoglycan layer, P ring is present, and in gram positive it is absent. S ring present in both bacteria. This S ring is supra ring. It is superficial to the cell membrane. Its location is just above the cell membrane. M ring is membrane ring. It is embedded itself in the cell membrane, so it is called as M ring. So this one is the basal body. From this basal body, S and M rings are the rotors. They perform the function of giving rotation. Function of the motion was performed by these two ring, S and M ring. Now second part of the bacterial flagella is hook. The name of hook is, it is hook. It is the part which connect our basal body to the filament. It is a wider curved portion. That wider curved portion is called as hook, and the function of hook is, as I told, it functions as a bridge between basal body and filament. This hook and basal body are chemically made up of carbohydrates, or complex sugars are present in the hook and basal body. Now last part, this hook is, the location of the hook is just on the cell surface. This basal body is inserted in the cell wall and cell membrane. As I told, the location of these rings, it is in the cell wall and cell membrane. Hook is just outside the cell wall, and filament is present outside the cell. It is long, slender. We are generally observing this filament. It is long, slender part called filament. It is helical part. Now this filament is made up of protein. As I told, hook and basal body is made up of carbohydrates or sugars, and filament is made up of a protein called as flagellin. So that is the structure of flagellin. Now let us see how this basal body gives the function of motion to the function of motility to the bacterial cell. Now this basal body, among this basal body, this S and M rings are the rotors. There are a number of different mechanisms explained how this S and M ring gives motility to the filament. Now in case of this S and M rings, they are located at the cell membrane. And all of you know that cell membrane is associated with the energy of cell. Here this S and M ring rotate counterclockwise to each other, and the energy required for their rotation was obtained from the electromotive force present at the cell membrane. With the help of that electromotive potential, S and M ring rotate counterclockwise, and that rotations are given to the central rod, and that central rod gives motion to the filament, and once filament get rotated, that motility was given to the cell motility. Now let us see which are the functions performed by the flagella. First and very important function, as I told, it offers the true motility. When filament moves in an anti-clockwise motion, your bacteria move in a forward direction. When filament move in an anti-clockwise motion, your bacterial flagella move in forward direction. So bacteria shows its true motility with the help of flagella. Now with the help of this true motility, true swimming motility, bacteria shows a type of behavior. That behavior is called as tactic behavior. Taxis phenomenon is there. Here these tactic behaviors are of different types: phototaxis, aerotaxis, chemotaxis and magnetotaxis. Phototaxis is name itself indicate. It is a movement of taxis is the movement of bacteria towards the light. That is called as phototaxis. Movement of bacteria towards the air is called as aerotaxis. It specially occur in case of aerobic organism, and in first case it is occur in case of photosynthetic bacteria. And chemotaxis is movement of bacteria towards the different chemicals, chemical attractants, especially nutrients. So movement of bacteria towards the nutrient is called as chemotaxis. And last one is the last one is the magnetotaxis, movement of bacteria in the magnetic field, especially that happens in case of magnetotactic bacteria. Okay, so that is the magnetotaxis. And next function provided by the flagella is it provides H antigen, that is Hosh antigen. Example is Salmonella typhi. In the Salmonella typhi, flagellar protein, that is flagellin, act as a H antigen. Now last function of the flagella, it acts as a site for attachment of bacteriophage. So these are the number of functions performed by the flagellae. Now let us see next part of the bacterial cell. Along with the flagella, another surface appendages are present. These are called as pili. Singular it is called as pilus, and it is also called as fimbriae. Now what is this pili or fimbriae, and which are the functions performed by the pili? Now pili are non-helical, it is straight, or it is non-helical, numerous. They are present all over the surface of cell. They are hollow, non-helical, filamentous appendages present on the cell surface. They are short in the length. Their length is about only 30 to 140 angstrom unit. Width is about 30 to 40 angstrom unit, and length is only 0.2 to 2 micrometer. They are not long as like that. The flagella, their function is also different than the flagella. These pili are especially occur in case of majority of the gram-negative bacterial cells. These pili are made up of protein called as pilin protein. In case of flagella, the protein is flagellin, and in case of pili, the protein is pilin protein. Yes. Now here these pili are divided into different types. In 1975, Otto divided this pili in different types and named their types as a type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, 5 and up to the type 6. He divided different types of pili. Among these different 6 types of the pili, type second pili, here I shown it in a green color. This has some importance. This type second pili is called as sex pili. It is generally occur in case of E. coli cell. The presence of this F pili, it is also called as F pili, or it is called as type second pili, or it is also called as sex pili. The presence of this pili on the surface was governed by F plasmid. Those bacteria which have F plasmid produce F pili on its surface, and when F pili is there, cells are called as male cells in process of conjugation. Conjugation is the process of gene transfer. In that, one cell is male cell, another cell is female cell. Yes, in male cell, or the maleness was the cell is due to presence of this type second pili, and this type second pili performs the formation of conjugation canal. So that is the function of type second pili. At the same time, other pili have function of adhesion. They provide the property of attachment. So these are the number of functions performed by the pili. Especially the most important type of the pili is type second pili. It is the F pili or sex pili. It forms the conjugation canal during the process of conjugation. So that is about the flagella and pili. Thank you.